Fullerton Unfiltered is straight ahead. Hi, I'm Mr. Producer, encouraging you to pick up both the residential and commercial contract that Brian offers at LawnEntrepreneurAcademy.com. The price on both of those increases July 1st. The contracts are editable with your specific info and will help just give you the confidence to grow your business and present your company in a highly professional way. There's a link in the show description.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys, and good morning, wherever you guys might be listening to the show. Guys, we're going to talk about ways to boost your revenue today, and we are joined by a returning guest. We have Kevin Laycock joining us from SiteOne. Kevin, good morning. How you doing, brother?
Hey, good morning, Brian. How's it going?
Oh, doing good over here, living the dream. We're actually up north right now on a little vacay. My wife and I, we're doing a little baby moon here, trying to get away for 4 or 5 days. So how's things going
nice.
In your neck of the woods?
Yeah, we're good. We're busy. We're in the middle of the season here at SiteOne, but, everything's going well. We're rocking and rolling and having a good year. So, everything is really good.
Yeah, amen to that. Well, it's funny because one of our friends with the Green Industry podcast, his name is Paul Jameson. He goes on tour doing these podcasts, right, Kevin? And so I try to live vicariously through Paul. So today I'm on the road. This is actually kind of fun for Liz and I. We're taking about 4 or 5 days. We're doing a little baby moon here. We get a baby coming in about 6 weeks, Kevin, which is just crazy. So we're getting ready.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Thanks, man. Thanks. So we're getting ready for that. And frankly, so this will be a really fun topic that I get to listen to as well with you, because we're talking about all things revenue boosters. And so I might need to pay very close attention as I got the baby coming. Amen. So
Absolutely.
Well, let's do this really quick. You and I actually have some history together. We were able to do a podcast. I think we were just trying to think back. It was about the same time last year. And we were talking about agronomic products and a couple different other categories from SiteOne. And for those of you guys listening in, SiteOne is a national, how would you describe them, Kevin? A landscape management and empowering company to help you guys with supplies, products. What would you describe? A little elevator speech here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a nationwide wholesale distributor that can service the smallest of lawn care and landscape contractors all the way up to the big guys. So we service everybody in between.
There you go. Well, you said it a lot better than I did, but that's why you get paid the big bucks, So we actually use SiteOne quite a bit. There is a local SiteOne to me about literally 5 minutes down the road from where I live. It's a kind of a staple part of our community, actually, where we live. It's called an Angelo's SiteOne. It's under the SiteOne umbrella, a huge landscape yard and shop. And like Kevin was saying, they have everything from salt, services to load us up for applying salt. They have fertilizer. They have bricks and pavers, and they sell different a little bit of everything, to be honest with you, like lighting. You can get some of the Greg Whitstock's, the pond guys, products from Aquascape, at different branches. So it's a vast store, and of course that's where we get a lot of our landscape supplies, including our mulch. And so today we're going to be talking about, what do we got on the chopping block for today, Kevin?
We're going to talk about pest management.
Pest management. So give me a broad overview. What is pest management, and what can these guys look forward to on this podcast?
Yes, you talked about it, but we're going to talk about how pest management can be an add-on service to a landscape contractor. Obviously, we know labor is a big issue right now, and has been for a while. But it allows a landscape contractor to boost their revenue with a residential customer that they already have. You could be doing a pre-emerge fertilizer application or herbicide application, and you can easily do a perimeter pest management application at the same property. That's what we'll talk about.
Okay, sounds good. Well, let's do this really quick. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors, and then we're going to come right on back with Kevin Laycock, and we're going to hear a little bit more today about how we can boost some revenue for our lawn and landscaping businesses. So guys, hang tight, and we'll come right on back.
Calling all landscape pros who want to get serious about healthy turf and a healthier bottom line. It's time to throw down new innovations. Built on 50 years of proven agronomic proficiency, Lesco fertilizers, control products, seed, and equipment are engineered to produce more resilient turf. We'll continue to bring new technologies, so no matter the day, you'll always bring your A game. Upgrade and outperform with Lesco. Visit SiteOne.com/Lesco today to learn more.
Lawns, lessons, and live. This is the Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast. Now, your host, Brian Fullerton.
All right, guys, and we are back. So let's just jump right back into this whole conversation with Kevin. So, Kevin, why don't you get these guys up to speed really quick with your background? Because believe it or not, you've been working with SiteOne for a little over a year now, but you've actually have, what would you say, like 10 or 15 years in this background and in the industry talking about this category. So you're very familiar with it. So what's your background, by the way?
Sure. Yeah. So I just kind of joined SiteOne a little over a year ago. So it was an interesting time to make a jump and join an organization in the midst of a global pandemic. But it's been an awesome experience. But prior to joining SiteOne, I was with Bayer Environmental Science for 10 years. And then I was at FMC for 5 years in various sales and marketing leadership roles. And actually grew up in the pest management space. My dad worked in the industry for 25, 30 years, the bulk of his career. And so I got an early peek at the pest management industry. And it's one that, similar to lawn care, there's a ton of overlap and comparisons, but it's a great industry, great people, hardworking. And it's just one that I is near and dear to me throughout my entire life.
Right, absolutely. And again, I really enjoy having your guys' professional expertise come on the show. I really do. It helps me to become a better, entrepreneur and business owner. And of course, we've had other guys on the show. We've had Cordy and Jeff just recently talking about high efficiency fertilizers. What was Brad's last name? Lipsy, I think, right? We had Brad.
Correct. Yep, Brad Lipsy. Yeah.
Do you get to talk to Brad, or are you guys all working the same general offices, or?
Yeah, we do. We do when we're not in the middle of a pandemic. We're all right. We're all right there. So
Sure.
In the year that I've joined, since I've joined, I haven't seen Brad too much, but we're all right there, all part of the same team, trying to grow and win in the marketplace, just like all the listeners on the call today.
Amen. Well, I really enjoyed the talking about the fertilizer ones. It took it way back to when my True Green days, right? And then Brad and I also hit it off too, because I'm a big lighting aficionado. I love outdoor lighting. I like lighting on my cars to lighting on my future home. So we were just nerding out. It sounds so weird, but as business owners, we have an eye for these things, right? And so we get passionate about these little nuances of the business. And so I really just appreciate all the other conversations we've had with SiteOne. And by the way, guys, SiteOne is a sponsor of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. So we always ask you guys to support the sponsors that support us in business. So if you guys have a local SiteOne, maybe consider checking one out, swing on by. If maybe they have some catalogs available, or of course they have the website, SiteOne.com, right? So let's do this really quick. Kevin, let's go down this rabbit hole talking about pest management or pest control. What's an IPM, by the way? This is a buzzword that I remember way back from True Green. So can you go into some of these quick topics here about what we're looking to do to develop pest management services as a service offering for our business?
Sure. So, IPM, or integrated pest management, is more than just applying a chemical or an insecticide to control a pest. There's a lot of environmental things that you can do. Think about standing water. That's an area where mosquito larvae can develop, and so by eliminating standing water either in your yard or around your community, that reduces the potential for mosquito populations to develop and be in that area, right? Mm-hmm. So in addition to having insecticides that can control mosquitoes, things like that can help you to get ahead of the outbreak or the presence of pests in the area.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Awesome. You're actually making me take a little trip back to memory lane with some podcasts that I've done with another friend of ours named Austin Douglas with Ditch the Itch. He does a lot with mosquito control and management, right, and then also a lot with poison ivy. It's like a whole different language out there when you get to start talking about pesticides, fertilizers, pre-emergence and emergence, right, and all these different products. So let's go into this whole conversation. Let's say somebody's out there, they're cutting grass, maybe they're doing some landscaping, and they want to start expanding some of these product lines or services. How do they get dive into the deep end. Let's take it all the way to the beginning. Let's build the foundation here. Let's say they don't know anything about this stuff. Frankly, I locked this all in a lockbox about 10, 15 years ago when I left True Green. And the more we have these conversations, I'm like, man, it's all in there, isn't it? Like once it goes in, it's in there. So let's say somebody is a lawn care landscaping lawn bro, and they want to start learning a little bit more about this. Where do they start, and how can they start learning that foundation with maybe some education?
Sure. Education is obviously a great place to start. First and foremost, from a licensing perspective, different states have different regulations, obviously, as we all know. So some states, in the Southeast, there may be some overlap between a lawn care license and a pest management license, where it's a dual license. In other states, it's a separate license that you need to obtain to be able to make a pest management application. So first and foremost would be to understand within your state what the guidelines are to make sure that you're operating safely and in accordance with the local regulations.
Okay, gotcha. And so let's say they fast forward, they got some licensing, or let me ask you this. Let's take it back. What's the incentive? Like, is there some good profit to be made in these product categories? And what are some of the things that these guys can expand with this product line, this service line? Are we talking mosquito control? Are we talking what's the lay of the land that these guys can look forward to with this product category?
Yeah, good question. I mean, you look at some of the top pests in the industry from a pest management perspective. Ants are the biggest. Mosquitoes have gotten over the last 5 to 7 years a ton of press with going back, if you remember, in the 2015-16 time with the Zika virus, right? That was a big buzz at the time. So those are some of the big pests. Cockroaches are another one. Then you've got your rodents of like mice and rats, which, so as we think about from a lawn care perspective and opportunities to expand their revenue, really a perimeter pest application at a home. So where you're treating for kind of general insects around, a lot of the products have a very broad label where you're going to get very good control against some of the top pests without having to mix in a lot of different products. So it's a fairly efficient increase from a lawn care perspective. You're not adding a lot of products into your arsenal. A lot of the same products that you might be using for a lawn insect application, you could use either in a different form. If you're using a granular, you could use a liquid spray around a perimeter application. And it's likely a similar product to what you're currently using in lawn care today.
Do you see that most of the product lines that you guys are talking about and referencing here, is that something that is more for our furt and squirt guys, or do you see a little bit of everything? Like a lawn and landscaper can do this, a lawn care business owner can offer this product. Just curious, no right or wrong answer, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it could be anybody. You look at the residential pest control or pest management market. I mean, it's pushing $10 billion from a service revenue perspective in the U.S. Based on some of the market research that's out there from PCT Magazine, which is one of the industry leading publications out there. So I would definitely encourage a shameless plug, I guess, for me on the PCT Magazine. I have no affiliation with them. They do a great job, but it's a great resource, along with the NPMA, which is the National Pest Management Association. They have a lot of resources and education tools out there to inform, people around continuing education, and even if you're just getting into it initially.
Okay, gotcha. Well, and here's the thing that I always enjoy talking about with different product lines or services. I mean, when some folks listening in, hey, I'm mowing grass, I'm laying mulch, that's all I'm doing, and I totally get that, because a lot of times that's me. I'm busy, I have 500 other things on my mind. I'm not trying to expand my company. My company, for the most part, is established with what I want to do. Right? What do they say? Like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And sometimes I have that mindset, right? And even myself, I need to shock the system and say, hey, there's other things out there. There's other opportunities out there, because, equipment is getting more and more expensive. Labor is becoming more and more scarce. So this last 24 months, these conversations have helped me to get out of my shell and my box of things I offer and things I take a look at. So if some of you guys are listening in, you say, yeah, I just want to mow grass and I just want to, cut that grass and make that cash. Like, I totally get that. That is totally cool. But some of you guys are still in that early development stage of your business. You're still developing your identity, your brand, your company, your service offerings. Like, who are we? What are we doing? What do we enjoy doing? Right. And so pest management might be a great product line and a great service that you get involved with to help grow your business and, of course, expand revenue and profit. So for some of you guys that are listening in, don't tune me out where you're just, hey, I just want to cut grass, get my $40-$50 and I'm in and I'm out. That's totally cool. However, there's an opportunity there where if you can apply some of these other products and services, of course, get licensed and do things correctly, but you can double or triple your revenue there while you're already at the same stop. That is stuff that we're evaluating all day long with our company because, why I did a video, Kevin, a while ago. I said, if you can have just a lawn care company with 200 clients or a landscape, lawn maintenance company where you manage everything and you can have 30 or 40 accounts, well, why would you take the 150 headaches versus only having 30 or 40 customers or headaches, right?
Right.
It's right. So actually, and I learned that a lot from my friend Mike Bedell, shameless plug for my friend Mike, because he only manages like 20 or 30 customers, but he does the exact same revenue as my company, running around like, what do they say, a chicken with its head cut off? So we've actually scaled down from 130 or so weekly customers to about 80, but now we start offering a lot of other services. So Kevin, let me go back to you. When you talk about pest management, right? What does that actually mean? Are we talking about like baits, insecticides, pesticides? I'm on the website here. So what does that all inclusively look like?
Sure. Yeah. It's there's baits, there's liquid insecticides, there's granular insecticides, and then there's termiticides that are similar in profile to a general insecticide, but are more focused on the termite species in terms of control there.
Okay.
There's the equipment side of it, from sprayers and delivery devices that help round out and really get product down to where it needs to be. So there's a lot of, it can seem overwhelming, but it's fairly straightforward and very similar to the profile of products that a lawn care company would be using for, lawn maintenance, whether it be a herbicide, fungicide, insecticide in that space.
Okay. And that's the one thing I've really come to appreciate about SiteOne is I'm getting to know you guys more and you guys are getting to know me more. That's one thing that I've really come to appreciate is the fact that not only do you guys sell the actual product, right, that we're going to be applying to, help serve our customer, you typically offer the equipment to make sure that we can put, whether it's a sprayer or you guys have a lot of new stuff coming out at GIE, little shameless plug there. But one thing I've also appreciated is that you guys have the education as well to help us get onto that journey, right? And so, where can folks find a little bit? I always forget to plug the website and all this stuff, and then later, we both get emails like, "Hey, you forgot to plug the website," because we just start nerding out. But where can people find if they want to scratch the itch and go down that rabbit hole? Where can they start getting some of this info?
Sure. So our SiteOne.com website is a great resource for everything on the education piece. You can manage your account with SiteOne with online bill pay and online ordering and all the things that we love about the internet and online experiences today. And then specifically around pest management, our SiteOne.com/pest management landing page will take you to specifically the pest management space where you can learn about all the different products that we offer. And it's a full offering of everything that you would need for any type of pest management application. And it's there's a lot of educational resources there as well as we have promotions and things like that we offer throughout the year. So it's a great resource to learn about them, where you can get some deals on some of the major products that you'd be using.
Absolutely. And one other thing here, we have a couple of little notes that were provided for us just to help with the conversation, but not that we really need it because I really enjoyed this conversation anyway. But there was something that was new to me was the SiteOne University, and it's siteone.com/event. So is there like sometimes training opportunities, whether online or in person, that can be offered through SiteOne?
Yes, we do. We have SiteOne universities, and they offer continuing education credits in certain states on certain topics.
Absolutely.
So we have those throughout the year. Those are primarily in the kind of the end of the year, beginning part of the year, where training is a focus. Obviously, as we know that folks, when they're out making service calls and getting their rounds in, they don't have the time for training. So we try and heavy up before they're in the heat of the season and don't have time for it. But we do offer them both in person and virtually. Obviously, this past year was heavier on the virtual side with the pandemic. But,
sure.
That's something that, and that's actually benefited us in a lot of ways, because we've learned how to do things virtually that we can expand our reach to customers that maybe can't get to an event in person for one reason or another, but they can still have the benefits of being in attendance, so to speak, but virtually.
Okay, gotcha. And you know what? Let me ask you this really quick, because we do have some detail heads on here, right? That listen to the show. They eat, breathe, and sleep, for Pest all day long, and so we have a wide range of folks that listen to the show. Talk to me for a quick second with some of the brands and some of the companies that you guys have partnered with to develop some of these products, right? We always like to name drop just for some credibility's sake, because what it's like. Well, are you getting stuff off the shelf from like a big box store? No, this stuff is not always exclusive through SiteOne, but some of it might be. But what's some of the name brand stuff that you guys are rocking, and some of the companies that you guys have partnered with to help empower these guys with their businesses?
Sure. Yeah. In addition to the Lesco brand, which is our house brand, which we continue to bring innovation around the Lesco brand, we're also working with some of our key supplier partners, and specifically in the pest management space, that are industry leading, like BASF, Syngenta, and FMC. They've been in the industry for a really long time. They've developed products that we're still using today, and they continue to innovate and bring new tools to the IPM process for the industry. So, and in addition to the products, they're stewards within the industry, so they're supporters of the sustainability and the long-term viability of the pest management space as well. So it's beyond just products.
Absolutely. Well, that's really good. Like I said, a lot of my guys that listen to the show, they hold my feet to the fire. So I like to be sharp. I don't pretend like I know everything by any stretch of the imagination. I don't, work in this category as much. I way back in the day, I'm telling you, it's like PTSD. Like I don't know what triggered is, but I think if I had to describe triggered, I think this is what it would be, because I would go all the way back to the beginning, back to the True Green days when people would scream at me about ratios and quantities and 1 ounce for every gallon and all this other fun stuff. So it is all in there, man. I'm telling you, and I smile and I laugh, because we would make all these different batches and concoctions over at this True Green National Fertilizer Company. A lot of you guys know them, and so it's all in there. And then anytime I hang out with my friend Mike Bedell, I can just like say two things, and he goes, "Oh yeah, 2806, or the triclopyr, or all these different words and buzzwords and categories and products." And so I just think it's all very fun, interesting conversation. And so let's take it all the way back. Let's go full circle here, because I don't think we have to go too long on this episode. I think this is a exploratory conversation that we're having with you guys to just present some options for you, right? As we go all the way back to the beginning, Kevin, you had said that the value proposition here is that labor is becoming more and more scarce, right? Equipment isn't getting any cheaper. We're already doing work. We're already moving around, right? And so one thing we always talk about on our show is don't mistake, movement for productivity. Right? Like, well, I'm doing 30 different things today, and I'm doing, this much revenue, and that's good, that's fine. But how can we're always having this conversation on our show, and with you guys listening in, I'd hope, is how can we be more productive, more profitable, more efficient? And so Kevin, let's just go back to the value prop. What is the value prop with adding a pest management control services to your lawn and landscape business?
Absolutely. I mean, you're already there on site at a residential account,
Yep.
and it's an easy. I say it's an easy, but it's an easy or an efficient way to add on service revenue at a property that you're already at. You've already invested the resources to be there. You might as well maximize and expand your service revenue with with pest management. And if I could give a specific, you talked about mulch. And IPM, we talked about that. That's another avenue for IPM is when you get mulch that's bunched up and really up against the perimeter of a property, that is a harborage for ant and termite infestation. So as you're applying and putting in new mulch, you can have an add-on service of pest management where you can make you can make an application of a perimeter general insecticide prior to putting down your mulch, and it gives you that barrier around your house, around that property, or around that home prior to you installing new mulch.
Mm-hmm.
So they might not think about that. They, meaning the homeowner, might not think about that, but I think if you explain it kind of like that it's like, oh, that makes sense. I get that.
Right.
Sure. I don't want ants or termites, swarming on my property. Sure, you can add on that, and as you're doing your mulch application. So, just a quick example as we were talking, that popped into my head that might resonate with the listeners.
No, absolutely, and that's the stuff that I think that we're all really trying to get a lot better at. I have a couple guys that we've had on the show that got into mosquito spraying, this last 24, 36 months, and same thing. And I don't know, like the, like let's say they're doing an application every 30 days or every 6 weeks. I'm not, that detail on it, but the reality is that if you're already making your rounds and you got to go cut lawns week after week after week, 6 weeks is coming whether you want it or not, right? And if, let's just say you're up for your next round of mosquito application for that customer, that client, you don't have to drive there again. You're already there. Now you take a $500, $800, $1,000 gross revenue day, and you're there for an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe, and you're able to double or triple that revenue by adding these cross-sell, upsell type services. And so to me, that just sounds like the registered chinging. Is that right, Kevin?
You're exactly right. No, you hit it right on the head.
That's awesome. Well, okay. Well, let's button it up right here. This was just a fun, quick conversation. We're just kind of we're glossing over this a little bit, but we just wanted to start this conversation for some of you guys that might want to go down the rabbit hole here. So, Kevin, here's one thing I always love to do. I don't really do homework, but I love giving like marching orders. Like, where can people go to find more information? I think we were talking about the website first, but can they go to their local store, or where do most people that you see start this this journey? Where do they usually begin?
Absolutely. The website's a great one, and all of our locations, we've got over 550 locations nationwide that have access to all of these products within the pest management space. So if you're not finding what you are looking for online, or need, just want to have a dialogue with somebody, you can visit any one of our SiteOne locations nationwide. We also have a customer service portal on our SiteOne.com website. If you aren't able to get into a branch and just want to ask a quick question, you can certainly submit a question through that portal as well, and we'll follow up and help you out as best we can.
Absolutely. I love it, man. I love it. Hey, one other quick question, because we're shooting this real time. It's summer of 2021. But GIE Plus Expo is right around the corner. I always say we snap our fingers and we're at the trade show for 3 days. Amen. SiteOne's usually got a prominent booth there, and a lot of folks are there from the SiteOne team. I would imagine SiteOne's going to be there this year. So, Kevin, if people got questions, can they come up to the booth and say hey to the rest of the SiteOne team down in Louisville?
Absolutely. We'll be there. And in addition, it'll be new for us this year. As you talked about equipment, we're really expanding our footprint in the equipment space, and we're going to have some outside demonstration areas for the first time. So Definitely check us out, even outside where you may not have typically seen SiteOne just on the show floor. But we're excited about some of the new offerings in our equipment category, and definitely come check us out at GIE. We'll be there.
Amen to that. Well, I'm really looking forward to that, because who doesn't like a good demo, and who doesn't like, rashing and thrashing on some equipment and hanging out outside. Amen.
That's it.
Well, and I'm also working, hopefully with the SiteOne team, might even be able to, see if we can get them to Launchpreneur Academy live this year. That's something that we're working on behind the scenes, which will be exciting, because everybody wants to touch it, feel it, smell it, see it, and ride on it. That's my MO anytime I go to these open houses or trade shows. So I'm always enjoying those opportunities, if you will. So, Kevin, this is awesome, man. You and I, we got to get together. We have to get together more than once a year. Amen. So this is.
We can connect to GIE for sure, because I'll be there. We can link up.
We'll have to do some impromptu interviews or something like that. I get to hang out and just get a debrief of the show and a pulse from the show from the SiteOne booth. Hey man, something like that. So I love it. Well, guys, this is just a quick little conversation we're having here today with SiteOne. And by the way, shout out to our local SiteOne and Angelo's, and we have a couple different branches here in Michigan. They're fantastic folks. I never walk in there, with this inadequate feeling. Maybe I don't know certain things, but I'll tell you what, the local team that we get to work with, and I'm sure this is across the board with a lot of SiteOne, is they're there to educate you guys, empower you guys, give you the lay of the land, help you out. They'll help facilitate you guys growing into these different spaces, which is really, really exciting. You're not just left out to dry. And that's, to me, again, that's the constant conversation I'm having with the difference between, big box stores and your local landscape supply yards like a SiteOne. So for us, it's been a fun conversation. It's been a beautiful partnership. I've been going to SiteOne, gosh, for, I would say, 12 to 13 years now, and I'm still a babe in the industry, but I'll tell you what, the last 12 years that we've been able to utilize the products and services at our local branch, it has helped us make a gob of money and a gob of revenue. Amen. So that's at the end of the day, we can talk all fancy numbers, but we're here to make money. And so for me, SiteOne is a partner that helps me make a lot of money, and at the end of the day, that's what I'm most appreciative for. So anyway, Kevin, appreciate the time, brother. This was really good, and thanks so much for taking the time to be on the show.
Thanks for the support. Yeah, thanks for the support of SiteOne. We really appreciate it.
Amen.
And best of luck to you. Good luck. Enjoy your baby moon, and good luck with everything on that front. It's exciting times for sure.
Amen, brother. Well, thank you so much. All right, guys. Well, we'll button it up right now. We'll kick it back over to Marty, Mr. Producer, who's down in the ATL, actually, over there by SiteOne, main headquarters, which is really, really cool. So let's kick it back over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to button up the show, guys. And this is another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. We'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Hey gang, it's Marty. Let's talk about how smart Wi-Fi enabled irrigation controllers help improve life. They make system management easier, help homeowners save water, and nowadays more and more customers are wanting remote smart control, meaning it's a good way to continue growing your business. SiteOne Landscape Supply has a new trade-in special from now right on through June the 30th, where if you bring in any old irrigation controllers to your local SiteOne branch, you'll receive a 15% discount on a smart Wi-Fi enabled residential irrigation controller from Rainbird, Hunter, or Irritrol. As a part of the Upgrade, Save, Recycle Controller Upgrade program, SiteOne is partnering with Blue Star Recyclers, a nonprofit dedicated to creating jobs for people with disabilities and keeping electronics out of landfills. Great work. This trade-in special is a fantastic upgrade for your customers, a better upsell for you, and an opportunity to support a nonprofit that is doing impactful work. Visit SiteOne.com/upgrade and save to see the full list of qualifying controllers, and I'll make sure that link is in the show description. This program expires June 30th, so head to SiteOne now.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.